Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you all to our Informal Recruitment information session. We are so excited that you're here to learn more about joining a chapter at Rutgers this fall.
Do you see Nicole?
So, whether you are new to Greek life or you've been curious for a little while, we hope that tonight gives you a helpful overview and makes recruitment feel a little bit more approachable. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, first, we'll go over some introductions. We'll get into who our organizations are, what informal recruitment is, the format that we follow for informal recruitment, some dates to keep in mind, some helpful steps to take, and important things to know going forward. And then we'll get into some contact information for you guys, and then we'll have a quick Q&A section for any questions that you might have. So first, let's learn a little bit about who is here today. So, hi everyone. My name is Kate Sullivan. I am the Vice President of Recruitment for Rutgers Panhellenic. So, what I do is I work alongside our Panhellenic Executive Board. I also oversee our recruitment team and our recruitment counselors, as well as our recruitment chairs. And then I also help just facilitate the informal and formal recruitment processes. My email is below my picture. So next, we're going to have her joining us later today, but Gabby McCrisky is our Panhellenic president. You'll hear a little bit from her later on. So next, I want to introduce you to Amy Voida.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being on the call tonight and taking time to learn about our community. My job in the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Affairs is to serve as the Associate Director, so I advise the Panhellenic Council. I work closely with our women's organizations, and I'm super excited to be working with the recruitment team again this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Next, I want to introduce you to Rohini. She is one of our events and operations coordinators on our recruitment team. She works with another events and operations coordinator, Ella, who couldn't be here tonight.
Hi everyone, I'm Rohini. As Events and Operations Coordinator, I help do the logistics and the behind-the-scenes systems that help recruitment run smoothly.
Awesome. Thank you, Rohini. Next, I want to introduce you to Melina. She is our branding and outreach coordinator for the recruitment team.
Hi everyone, I'm Melina Nastasi, and I am the branding and outreach coordinator for Panhellenic, so I do all of the marketing across all of the social media pages for recruitment.
Thank you, Melina. And then lastly, we have Ava. She is one of our recruitment counselor coordinators. She works alongside Kennedy, who is our other recruitment counselor coordinator, but couldn't be here tonight either.
Hi everyone, I'm Ava. I'm one of the recruitment counselor coordinators. Together, Kenny and I administer the selection and training process for our recruitment counselors.
Awesome. Thank you. So now that you've gotten to know us a little bit, we want to get to know you guys. So if you could all drop your major or intended major if you haven't quite figured it out yet, and your hometown in the chat. We want to hear from all of you. Okay, so now let's learn about our Panhellenic Council. So we have NPC chapters. We have 8 of those, which are nationally Panhellenic chapters. But we also oversee non-NPC chapters. So they're not nationally Panhellenic chapters, but they're still part of our community here. So the Panhellenic Council is the umbrella to all our chapters here at Rutgers. We support our chapters through various events, and we facilitate recruitment. We aim to unify our chapters through friendship, support, leadership opportunities, and so much more. It's really a great way to make all of our smaller chapters part of this bigger organization and get to meet so many amazing people. So first, let's go into our non-NPC chapters. So they include AOE, or Alpha Omega Epsilon. They're a social and professional STEM interest sorority. And then we have Phi Sigma Rho, or PSR. They're a social sorority for women in engineering and STEM. I know we saw a lot of you girls were engineering, STEM, all of that, so this could be appealing to you guys. But these chapters have a slightly different process than NPC chapters. They host their own events and they select members through informal recruitment that follows a similar timeline to NPC chapters. They'll be participating in the same timeline this fall. So STEM students often look at these chapters because of their shared academic and professional interests. These sororities blend social experiences with STEM support networks. We have a non-NPC liaison, Rachel Hall, on our recruitment team, and she is always happy to answer any questions you might have at all. She would get so excited if she got an email with a question from one of you guys. So her email is right there below. feel free to take a picture of that, a screenshot, anything, just so that you have it. Next, we'll get into our NPC chapters. So these are the nationally Panhellenic chapters. We have 8 of them on this campus. So we have Alpha Chi Omega, Alpha Gamma Delta, Delta Gamma, Gamma Phi Beta, Phi Sigma Sigma, Phi Mu, Sigma Delta Tau, and Zeta Tau Alpha. We also have listed their recruitment chairs' names next to them as well. So these chapters participate in formal recruitment, whereas the non-NPC chapters do not participate in our formal recruitment in the spring, but they follow more of a timeline like fall informal recruitment. So now I've been saying formal recruitment a bunch, so let's talk about informal versus formal recruitment. So in informal recruitment, first years can attend events, but they cannot join. You're not eligible to join as a first year until the spring. But first years are encouraged to register for informal recruitment. You can still attend events even though you cannot officially join. Everyone must register so that we can verify your eligibility to join. But for this, there is no fee for participating. In regards to size, NPC chapters are limited by size, so the number of new members that can join. So when informal recruitment comes around in the fall, some may have vacancies or space for new members and some may not, but we do not know that quite yet. Non-NPC chapters will determine themselves how many new members they would like to take. And in informal recruitment, you guys, the PNMs or potential new members, that's what we call people who are going through recruitment. You determine who and how often you visit over the 2 weeks of recruitment that we have. You are not required to visit every single chapter. You can kind of do it based on your own schedule. So now let's go into formal recruitment. So this happens in the spring. With formal recruitment, first years can participate and join, as long as they meet the eligibility requirements. And with this, everyone must register so that their eligibility can be verified. You cannot go through the process in spring if you are not registered. In spring recruitment, all NPC chapters can invite the same number of students to join. Non-NPC organizations will continue to determine their own number of new members. With formal recruitment, we follow a bit of a stricter schedule. So if you register for formal recruitment with the NPC chapters, you must visit all chapters on your schedule. So this gives you an opportunity to really see all of our chapters and all that they offer. With formal recruitment, there is a registration fee of $40 for the NPC formal recruitment process. And what we have are recruitment counselors. So if you heard Ava earlier, she's a recruitment counselor coordinator. So she oversees a team of recruitment counselors who are there to guide you through the formal recruitment process and be there for any questions you might have.
So why should you participate in informal recruitment? So informal recruitment is great if you're looking for a low pressure way to get involved. It's a way for you to essentially try before you buy, so you can attend any and all events that interest you, meet sisters casually, and explore all your options. So it's also perfect if you know people in a chapter already. So this may make you feel more comfortable as informal recruitment allows you to visit chapters that you would like to visit. Maybe you didn't feel ready in the spring. So it's important for you to feel comfortable with the process and participate when you feel ready. And we also want to remind you that grades always do come first. And since informal recruitment starts as soon as we get back to school, finding that balance between your social life and your classes is essential. Or maybe you just prefer a more flexible format. So formal recruitment can be a quite stressful and overwhelming process for many girls, and sometimes it's just not the right fit, which is totally normal and completely okay. Informal recruitment is great because it's a more low-key option that doesn't involve a strict schedule like formal recruitment does. Fall recruitment is more on your own timeline where you choose the events that you want to attend. So if you all want to answer down in the chat below, what made you interested in joining or potentially joining informal recruitment? And you never know, maybe you'll find someone who has the same reason as you do.
Okay, awesome. So now Ava is going to go a little bit into the timeline that we have for fall informal recruitment.
Okay, so here's a general timeline. So we have our involvement fair on August 31st, and this is an opportunity for you to meet all the organizations on campus. You guys can come find us in the Greek life section and come say hi to us, and then also all 8 of our chapters and ask any questions you may have as long as with the non-NPC sororities. Classes begin September 2nd, and our recruitment events will go through September 2nd to the 13th. And then we will conclude informal recruitment with bid day, and this is the day where bids will be given out. Be sure to follow us at Rutgers Panhellenic and your favorite chapters on Instagram and get involved to stay updated on events and announcements.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about how you actually go to attend a party. So there's many ways that you can find what parties are happening and when. So first we have Get Involved. Get Involved is a great tool that Rutgers offers where you get to see what events there are, when they are, and you're able to actually RSVP to attend. So there is a great QR code here, which I really recommend you guys scanning and having because we'll be posting a lot of things on there. So chapters will post their Meet the Sisters events, and we'll actually post our own Panhellenic Meet the Sisters events on here. The next way is through social media. So most of our chapters will post their sign up on their Linktree, on their Instagram, their TikTok, etc. They'll also post a lot of story posts or maybe a regular feed post with information about these events. So it's really important to stay updated and following all of our Instagrams, the Panhellenic Instagrams, as well as the chapters Instagrams to keep up to date. And then lastly, we want to go over invite only. So as informal recruitment progresses, it's not uncommon to see an invite only to describe an event. This means that you must be invited to go to this event. But you won't have to worry about that in the beginning. Just in the beginning, go to as many events as you would like.
So now let's talk a little bit more about what the events are. There are a limited number of spots for each event that the chapter is holding and a limited number of events. Events can be in lettered chapter houses, in student centers, or academic spaces. Please make sure you do not just show up to an event. If you do, a chapter is not guaranteed to be able to host you. If you know you cannot attend, are truly not interested in the chapter, or for some reason do not feel like attending a party, please remove yourself from the RSVP list and give someone else the opportunity to go. First years, the events that are open to you to attend will be advertised as such. If a chapter is not taking a fall class, feel free to attend their Meet the Sisters and other events as much as you would like. However, if they are taking a fall class, please be respectful of the event RSVP process and don't take it personally.
So while at these events, remember our 4 pillars: leadership, scholarship, service, and friendship. Value-based recruitment means learn about our values and consider your own. How do they overlap? Be yourself. Do not buy new clothes. Come as you are. Come after class or from the dining hall. We do not care. They want to see you as you. Be yourself. The more you show off your personality, the easier it will be to find where you truly belong. Attend as many events as you feel need comfortable. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This shows you did research. Don't be shy talking about yourself and your experiences.
So now we'd like to take a moment to share with all of you a really special and really unique part of our Rutgers Panhellenic, the Coalition for Women of Color, or the CWC. The CWC celebrates the diversity in our chapters and acts as a vehicle to unify and support our sorority women of color and allies. The coalition was created by women of color to give women of color a place in our Panhellenic community. Their goal is to empower all women of color by fostering awareness to the diverse identities that make up our wonderfully unique community. Everyone deserves to feel seen, heard, and accepted, and the CWC is an amazing organization that helps push and deliver that idea. If you are a woman of color or ally, or even just the slightest bit interested in what the CWC does, please go ahead and follow them on Instagram at Rutgers CWC. And please take note of their emails down below. And if you have any questions or just like to talk, please reach out.
Okay, so now we'll get into how do you get invited to join. So a bid is an invitation to join. I know we've been saying a bid a lot. So you should think of a bid like applying to colleges or jobs. It's about a mutual fit. You want to love them as much as they love you. So that's what we call mutual selection a lot in recruitment. So it means you have something in common, you like each other. So with that, chapters will consider your involvement, your grades, your personality, almost like a vibe check to see if you're what they're looking for and they're what you're looking for. You want to keep in mind that you're looking for a chapter that matches you as much as they're looking for a girl that matches their chapter. So to receive a bid, you must be registered with OFSA, which means that you're academically eligible before you can be extended a bid. So how do you get extended a bid? So normally recruitment chairs will call to invite you to join, and they'll give you a time frame to give you an answer. It is okay if that answer is no. Maybe that chapter isn't the right fit for you. You can always say no. But if you do love that chapter and you do want to join, you can say yes. And if you say yes, you will sign the MRABA, which we'll go over in the next slide. So what is the MRABA? So we have this example of it right here, but basically what it boils down to is it's a binding agreement. That means that you accept the bid from the chapter that offered you the bid. You won't join another NPC sorority until spring formal recruitment. And if you are initiated into that chapter, you cannot join another NPC chapter. So that means even if you were to drop out of that chapter and you were initiated, you cannot join another one, whether that's on Rutgers campus or a different campus. But with the MRABA, I know this seems like a lot, but it is something that is always posted on our website. So you can always go back to that and see it there. So it's not something that you have to memorize at all right now. Okay, so next, we know that finances are a real factor in making a decision with which chapter you're joining. So each chapter posts a financial transparency form on our website. So what this includes is new member dues and initiated member dues. So new member dues are always a little bit higher than initiated member dues, so that's something to keep in mind. But what it also goes over is what these dues cover. So chapters, they'll cover events, retreats, maybe some clothing, all the things that you have a ton of fun with your sisters about. And what chapters also may offer are payment plans. So if you are someone who's paying for your own dues, if you're working while you're in your chapter, you can work with your chapter's executive board to come up with a payment plan to best fit you. So what we have right here is a QR code, which is to our Panhellenic website, which has all the chapter's financial transparency forms. Each form will be under the chapters tab, so you can go through and review them all. I highly recommend reviewing them all, either before you start attending their events or when you're getting close to making a decision about a chapter that you like, as you should be fully familiar with all their finances. We go over this in events, so like our Panhellenic Meet the Sisters, we talk more about it, and we are always open to any questions that you might have regarding finances.
Okay, so what are the next steps? So to wrap up, here's what you can do next. So number one, register for informal recruitment. So on the next slide, there will be a QR code for you to scan, which will bring you to the Panhellenic website or to our Instagram. And there you can find the recruitment registration form. So on our Instagram, it's located in our bio, so you can click that link if you don't want to go through our website. Number two, talk to your families about finances and time commitments. So Greek life isn't understood by everyone, so it's important to keep your family in the loop with how the process works, how finances go across the chapters, and providing them with all the necessary information so they feel adequately equipped to supporting you through the process. And additionally, on our website, there is an FAQ section for parents and family members to go to so they can look up any commonly answered questions to encourage, and so we encourage you to have them go check that out. Number three, follow us and Panhellenic chapters on social media. So social media is going to be your number one source of information when it comes to recruitment. So this is where you will learn about any of our upcoming Meet the Sister events or any Panhellenic wide events that will keep you involved. Number four, attend the involvement fair. So as Eva said earlier, you can visit the chapters and talk to members or any of us, because the recruitment team will also be there to learn more about just more information or just to meet members before going through the process. And five, think about your own values and what you're looking for in a sisterhood. So this will help you understand what is essential for you when deciding on a chapter and will help you be your true self throughout the process. And don't forget, we are all here to help guide you every step of the way. Any and all questions, concerns, or problems that you might have, please reach out to me or any members on the recruitment team, and we will gladly be there to help you.
Okay, so along with next steps, keeping up with us is a very big one. So I have three super important QR codes here for you guys to scan. So number one, we have the Panhellenic website. So this has all the information about recruitment you could need, but it also has information about our Panhellenic Council, which is really important to know as well. Next, we have the Panhellenic Instagram. So this also has information about recruitment. We'll post a lot about our events, but we also post about the events that we do as a Panhellenic, and we highlight some really important people in our community. So it's great to follow us to keep up with recruitment, but to also keep up with all the amazing things that we do as a council. And then lastly, like Melina was saying before, we have a parent and family FAQ on the OFSA website. So this is super important to share with your family members so that they're able to understand with you as you're going through this process. So I'll give you a second just to scan those QR codes before we move on. Okay, awesome. I hope that you all got the opportunity to scan those. But if you didn't get the opportunity to scan them all, you can always Google Rutgers Panhellenic. You can type it into your Instagram. It will come up for you. So going off of that, like Melina was saying, we are here for you. So for any questions, advice, or anything else you might need, we have some really helpful emails here. So number one is my email. You can come to me with any general questions about recruitment at all. I am here to answer any questions that you might have. And then next we have our recruitment events and operations coordinators email. They can help you with any logistical things about recruitment that you might need. And then lastly, we have OFSA's email. If you're having any issues about registering for recruitment, you may have to go to them, but you can also email me about that as well. So it's important to maybe take a picture of these, a screenshot, just so that you have them in case you need anything at all. Okay, hopefully you all got the chance to take a picture of that. But that is all we have for tonight. We are going to stay back for Q&As if you have any questions at all. But to wrap up, thank you so much for joining. Make sure to follow us on social media. And if you're a new student or transfer student, like a bunch of you were in the chat, and you'll be at new student orientation, there will be a Greek life presentation. So make sure to put that on your calendar when you're registering for everything during new student orientation. And again, thank you so much for joining, and we cannot wait to see you at recruitment events in the fall, and we are here throughout the journey if you need anything at all. But if you have any questions, feel free to hang on, drop any in the chat, unmute anything you would like. But if you do not have any questions right now, feel free to hop off. I see a hand up. Do you have a question?
Yes. Hi. I
Hey.
was wondering if you take like legacy letters or what is it? Like letters from like alumni for your chapters, or is that just like not a thing for informal recruitment?
Hey, Elena. Yeah, if you've got alumni friends or friends of the family that are members of sororities that we have at Rutgers, and they would like to send a letter of recommendation or reference, they certainly can. They're not required, and you've got a lot of time to do that. Usually the alums can send the letter directly to either A, the chapter, or B, there's a form online that they can fill out through their National Sororities office, and the National Sororities headquarters will forward it to the recruitment chair themselves. But like I said, they're not a required thing here. That's a nice to, but it's not a have to. If they're going to send one, I think they probably should have it here maybe by Labor Day at the latest for fall. And I would say probably before final exams end in December if it's for spring recruitment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
So I got a question in the chat about when chapters will know how many spots there are for the fall. And that will come out when informal recruitment begins. So we are going to have to wait a bit to know that. But every chapter will be having events. So even if you are interested in a chapter and they may not be taking new members, you can always visit them as well. I see another hand up, and then I'll answer the chat question. Elizabeth?
Hi. So you know how in no, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Informal recruitment, you had a timeline of events. Like you had your virtual kind of meet the sisters, and then you went to the next round and then to the next round. So is there something like that for informal recruitment?
So not necessarily. Chapters will just have a bunch of events, but they're not necessarily rounds. You really just go to chapters when they're having these parties, and you'll get to know them, but you won't get a call saying that you can't come back to a certain chapter, unless, like I was talking about before, there are those invite-only events. But
Mhm.
that's the only thing that sort of resembles that. So also about the online, everything with this is in person. And there's no schedule that you follow. So you won't have to go to this chapter at this time, this chapter at this time. You can look
Okay.
at the schedule of events, look at your schedule, and figure out when you're going to each chapter.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. How does the bidding process work compared to Spring Formal Rush? So the bidding process is a lot more informal, just like the name. So like I was saying before, um, recruitment chairs can call you, they can send you a text, they can talk to you personally to extend you a bid. Whereas in formal recruitment, we do have a whole system that we go through like that, and we have a whole big bid day celebration where you kind of open a card. But with informal recruitment, you can get a call, a text, anything like that to let you know that you did receive a bid. I hope that helped answer the question. Let me know if you want something more specific with that in your question. Where can I see the schedule for the events? So we will be posting that on our Panhellenic website. But also you can see it on all the chapters. We'll be posting it on their Instagrams, but we don't have a schedule just yet. We will make some sort of announcement when we have a schedule up, but it will be kind of following that timeline from September 2nd to the 14th. They'll all be held in that range, but no like schedule yet. Keep an eye out for that though. Typical new member class size in the spring, that varies year to year. So like I was saying, there's a different number of spots every year. So there isn't really an average because it does fluctuate. So we don't know what it will be in the spring, but it is bigger than in the fall.
Yeah, the size is going to really depend on the chapter's roster when they're returning. So it could be no spots, it could be one new member, it could be 10 or more. It will just depend on the number of students that have graduated, and we won't really know that until we're back in mid-August.
Yeah. Um, Dress code for Meet the Sisters and party events. We do not want you to buy anything new. We want you to show up showcasing yourself. You want to be your true authentic self and show that off at these events. Um, Typically the attire, people won't necessarily wear sweatpants, but you'll show up just like showcasing yourself. I think for mine, maybe I wore jeans, someone else wore a skirt, someone maybe wore leggings. Like it really is truly up to you and how you want to present yourself. But there's no like strict dress code, like you have to dress in this attire at all. Okay. If you're out of state, will you miss any events over the summer? You will not miss any events, as they will start the first day of school. So you are all good. Franny, do you have a question? Hi.
Hi, I was wondering if fall recruitment, the scheduling didn't work out, if we would be able to follow through like for the formal recruitment in the spring and like how that would look kind of.
Yeah, totally. So recruitment events in the fall, they're a bit more flexible, so hopefully you can find something to fit your schedule. But if you do choose to go through the recruitment process again in the spring, you can register for it, kind of like you do for fall recruitment, but we have this whole registration, and there is a registration fee for that. You'd register for that, and then you go through the spring recruitment process. So it doesn't matter if you go through a little bit of fall recruitment and formal recruitment, no matter what, you are good to go through spring recruitment as long as you register. If we get a bid and initiated, can we get a little in the spring? That is super up to the chapter that you join. That is a very exciting part of being in one of our chapters. I know that was like the most exciting thing for me. But yeah, it's truly up to the chapter that you join. So I can't really speak on all of them. But that's totally something that you could ask at one of the events too. You could ask about their big little process and all of that stuff. I'm sure they like to talk about that.